Hello everyone, it's Mikhail, and today I'm gonna shed some lights on some of technique which I run into when I experimenting with ropes dynamics inside C4D and found interesting solution how to create interesting looking moving splines over the surface. We will take a look on two different techniques without any third-party plugins, with one of the plugin which I use for this now. It's up to you what kind of method I use, but I think it's gonna be interesting for you, so let's learn how it was made. Okay, let's open C4D, and first of all I'd like to go to the asset browser and type here head. Okay, because I want to use this head model. Okay, let's grab it, select material, delete it, open materials, delete it here as well. So we got this model. To begin with, let's create just a simple cube just to match size our head. Let's increase scale for our head like that, I would say. Let's delete cube. Okay, press NB to show the polygons, and let's go to the render settings and change resolution like that, just 9:60. Okay, like Instagram reels or stories. Okay, let's switch renderer to redshift because we will use redshift for this render. Okay, and let's create a res camera, activate it, go to the focal length and increase focal length by 80. Okay, I think that's okay. Let's change a bit camera angle like that. So we got this general model. First of all, I want to subdivide this model, but I'd like to use not classical subdivision surface. I just want to use capsule, press Shift C and type subdivide. Okay, we immediately find this one, place it inside our generic head burst, and let's activate smooth and increase iterations by 2. So far so good. Let's create a Voronoi fracture, okay, and place our generic head burst inside Voronoi. By default, we got this result. That's absolutely okay, because by default, Voronoi use point generator distribution. Let's deactivate it and create matrix object. In matrix object, I'd like to change count here by 1, here by 70, and let's change this size by 5. So let's select our Voronoi fracture and use our matrix as a source. We immediately slice our head by Y, and to be ready to prepare our setup to generate some splines. So first of all, go to the Object tab and change offset by 1, maybe by 2. Actually, maybe 1.5 would be enough. Okay, we got it. So let's hide matrix for now, place our camera here. Okay, let's select both, Alt-G, and call it setup. Okay, so I'd like to share with you two techniques, one without any third-party plugins, but it's not absolutely procedural because I'm still working on how to generate splines inside C nodes, actually not lines, just splines, but it takes a time, but today we take a glance on two methods. First of all, let's try to create everything from scratch without any third-party plugins. Okay, so let's select our Voronoi fracture, right-click, and make it current state to object. Let's hide original one for now. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, sorry. Let's delete it. Select our Voronoi fracture. Go to the selections and find here edge vertex. No. Edge breaks, yeah, this surface edge breaks. Let's right click, current state to object, deactivate it for now, okay, and select all pieces and make it connect object plus delete. So we got these selections. Let's double click on this tag, select all edges, right click here and use this convert edge to spline. So we immediately get these splines. If you go to the point mode, we can see how it looks. It's not so bad, but actually there are a lot of points, and I'd like to resample it somehow. In order to do it, let's create a small spline. Yeah, First of all, I'd like to go to the fourth step and make it change mode from exclude to include, because I want to use some C4D forces to drive my rope dynamics with it, but most spline use C4D forces as well. That's why we want to exclude it, just only included forces will affect it, but never mind about it right now, just switch mode to include. Okay, so let's select our spline, call it lines for instance. Okay, go to the object, switch to spline, and use our generic head boost fracture spline as a source in spline type. We immediately get this one. Yeah, let's hide it for now. Let's select lines, go to the object, switch display mode to lines. Okay, and we got nicely done lines, but by default it use vertex mode. If you switch to, for instance, step, we can resample it somehow. It's pretty nice because we can use it, allow us to use rope dynamic stack directly over the most spline. Okay, so for now I prefer switch step by 1. I think that's okay. Let me create a simulation rope dynamic stack. Okay, let's change bendiness by 55, stretchiness by 2 maybe. Okay, and let's press Command D or Control D on PC, go to the simulation, sim, and deactivate any turbulence. So we prepare our setup. First of all, let's test it with some simple forces. I would say maybe just a turbulence. Let's create kind of, press play, and we see how it works, So as we use a line, actually let's call it resample. Okay, if we increase by 2, we lose some points. Let's gain, yeah, by maybe 10, and you got not so dense points mesh, actually spline, but I prefer use 1. Okay, so far so good. Let's move forward and create our vector field. Let's delete turbulence. We just use it to check this out. Actually, if you want to understand how work resample, because we don't see how to calculate points over these splines, let's press C to convert to the splines, and you can recognize how many points on our splines. As you see, it has the same length between 1 point and other 1 point. Yeah. So let's revert to our original resample. Okay, let's create new. Okay, called it forces, because I want to organize my scene somehow. Let's place it here, for instance, and let's create volume builder. Called it vector field. Okay, vector field. Okay, so let's place it inside a forces node. Okay, let's switch volume type to vector, voxel size by 2, and let's open our setup, open Werner fracture, and use generic head boost as a source. We immediately generate some vectors from this source, but I want to allow my splines follow this boost head movement, just follow over this vector field, move over this surface, like maybe X particles follow surface modifier does, but we try to use native Cinema 4D tools, to generate it. So we already create generic head boost. Let's create let's actually create a random field. Okay, and called it noise, because we want to use this noise as a vector map for generate vectors. Let's place it inside volume builder. Okay, open volume builder again, we immediately get this one. So by default it's if you select this noise, it use creation space box. Let's switch to object below. Okay, and we immediately get some noises here. And crucial thing is change mode from normal to cross, in order to create cross product, create proper vector field over this head. Let's select noise. Okay, go to the parameters, actually not parameters, to fields, and change scale maybe to, I don't know, 2000, I would say. We immediately get this vector field. Let's change animation speed by 55 maybe, and let's press play to take a look how it works. As you see, we got vector fields. Let's increase length. Animated vector, you know, maybe it's so dramatic. Let's create 1000. Okay, sorry. We got this vector field, but I'd like to a bit smooth this vector field. Let's use vector smooth, change it a bit, maybe like that, I would say. Let me press play again. We still have vector field. And one more crucial thing is create a vector normalize, you know, in order to normalize strength of our vector field. Let's press play again. Exactly the same, but when we create some dynamic simulation, it will work properly. So we create this vector field. In order to use it, we need to create simulation forces field force. Let's place it inside forces as well. Let's change in object tab velocity type from add velocity to set velocity absolute, increase strength, I would say 44, okay, and use our vector field as a volume object. Let's select it, and I think we're ready to test our animation. Let's hide it from now. Okay, let's hide field force as well. Let's press play and immediately get this result. Take a look, pretty nice. Maybe it's so fast, you know, we can change it here to 22, for instance. Let me check again. Yeah, we got something, but our ropes and our particles still, you know, when we play, you know, in our simulation, we lose the form, I would say. Take a look, it's not so perfect here, but we still have this generic head, you know. Let's press right click, simulation, and create collider tag. Maybe change frictions a bit, like that, I don't know. Let's press again, and right now our ropes try to follow over this surface. We still have these not good things. That because I think we don't need enough. We don't have enough intermediate points. Let's switch from adaptive to uniform. Maybe it affects our it affects our simulation. Let's take a look. No, still works pretty fast. Maybe we need to create 16 points. Oh, I forgot, sorry. As we use resample, you know, we can switch to step for vertex again, and right now we got much more proper result because we have a lot of points, you know, intermediate points over the surface. So I think you got the idea, the general idea how to use it, you know. Maybe switch to the step again and switch to step 0.5 to get more or less proper result. Let me check. Yeah, looks nice. Okay, let's move forward. I already show you how to use only Cinema 4D tools to create this one, but if you want to keep it parametric, you can use small plugin which created my body, a really nice bundle, but you can use only one for this. So for now, let's, for instance, deactivate this, you know. Let's activate our original setup, this one, okay. And let's select this Warner fraction, and if you get this plugin, you know, and install it, you can go to the main menu, go to the legacy tab, and create and change here. There are a lot of tools, you know, but we need to focus on today on each liner, because I want to use this each liner, you know. So if I right now place that inside each liner, we immediately generate splines, you know. But as you see, we have all splines. We create H2 line, you know, H2 spline for whole geometry, because we have a lot of intersections here, a lot of polygons here, and so on. In order to fix it, you can select H liner, you know, and go to the object. You can, as you see, you can find it selection tab. Let's use our parametric selection here and immediately get this one. Take a look. Pretty nice. Let's select our resample and place our H-liner as a source right now. Let's press play again. Sorry, I forgot to activate it. Okay, let's hide it and use our resample, and we got exactly the same result, but absolutely procedurally. If you want to change it, you can go to the matrix object, create, for instance, 70 here, 1 here, for instance, and 5 here, and we get opposite result. Take a look. Pretty nice, yeah? So it's up to you what kind of technique use for this effect, but I really like how it works. It works pretty fast. Moreover, there are a lot of additional parameters. But if you don't want it, you can use the technique which I already shared with you, just convert to editable spline and use it the same. So let's move forward and try to create render for it. Okay. First of all, let me switch to my own layout. It's called attribute. I have some node graph here. I have kind of let me open actually Redshift renderer. Okay, place it here. I would say hide it for now. Okay, so let's create materials for our scene and adjust lights. So first of all, let's select this resample, right click, render text, and activate render redshift render tag. Okay, choose in this mode cylinder, maybe 2. Okay, let's create for now just a simple dome light, deactivate background, go to the asset browser and find here HDRIs. I prefer use my favorite one things, Kino, just grab it, and let's open renderer. Okay, run our simulation, make it fit to window, and we immediately get this result. Okay, so if right now we press play and run our simulation, find interesting maybe frame. Okay, let's run simulation again and immediately get this one. Yeah, looks pretty nice. Yeah, but let's create for instance background. Okay, I prefer use just where is it where is my plane? Okay, I prefer use a plane. Let's switch to Z plus, not X plus. Move it back a bit readjust, maybe a bit readjust camera angle. Let me find it here. Okay, let me switch to object mode. Too easy manipulate this one. Okay, let's create this one. Okay, run APR again. Nothing much happened, but because we don't have enough, I think, lighting in our scene. Let's hide visibility for a viewport. In order to easily recognize our splines. Actually our dynamic splines. Yeah. But I forgot about one thing. If you want to attract to your original surface, you can add it also here, because I want to add this generic boost here. As you remember, we use set absolute velocity, and go to the direction and switch. Actually, let's press play and we got this result, yeah, but we want to opposite result. Let's invert direction, uncheck this box, invert direction, and we immediately attract to our generic head boost because we use this collider tag, yeah. Let's change it a bit, percent of attraction like that. Yeah, not bad. Let's activate our vector field again. Maybe in add mode, yeah. So it allows us to attract somehow points to generate more visible, more proper result of our vector field here. Take a look, really nice, yeah. Maybe switch to 1.5, sorry, not 11, 1.5, I would say, yeah. Okay, so we got it, yeah. I think we're ready to create first light, because we create just dome light and simple dimple, let's create first light, right click, animation tag, target, and use as a target object our generic head boost, let me switch my layout a bit for now. Let me place it here, go to the top view, place it here, just to create something like that. I prefer increase size very big and place it far away from the head, make sure if you go to the attributes of our array slides, change intensity by 5 maybe. Let's run our APR again, and we immediately get this result. Pretty nice. Maybe run simulation to test it on a more neat frame, I would say. Yeah, looks pretty nice. Yeah, maybe a bit more. Okay, as for me it looks beautiful. Okay, so what about materials? Let's create a first standard material, and as we use the splines, we can use vertex attribute. Let's call the vertex attribute, type vertex attribute, connect directly to the color, and choose here an attribute name curve ID color. So if we run our simulation, our APR again, nothing much happened, but because we forgot to apply our materials, let's apply it directly to the resample, and we got this one. Take a look. Looks pretty nice, I would say, So far so good. Let's maybe run simulation a bit more. Let me check it again. Yeah, I like it. And let me create one more material. Okay, apply it for my plane. Let's call it BG, like a background. Let's make it like a almost white, slight gray, deactivate any reflections. Let's run again. Pretty the same result, yeah? That because we need to more light in our scene. First of all, let's select this erase area light, go to the details and increase diffuse by 2. We got more diffusion reflection in our scene, So let's command drag and drop and create copy of it, called it BG, because I want to use separate lights for BG for my main objects. Let's go to the projects and switch mode to include, and include for this light only BG. Okay, and moreover, let's select this target, and as a target object we will use BG as well. Let me find nice solution here, nice angle here, maybe something like that. Let me run APR again. Okay, so bright, I would say. Maybe decrease size a bit, place it here. Let's for now activate our plane, make it maybe like that, maybe something like that. So looks not so bad, yeah. Okay, I like this one. Okay, you can find proper parameters here, So maybe go to the object, go to the details and switch, especially for BG, diffuse to 1 again. Sorry, just to create like this, a bit more dramatic light here, And maybe we should a bit rotate our erase dome light. Let me check it. Actually, to find more interesting, maybe like that, maybe, yeah, to get some additional lighting here. So as we got this material, as we got vertex attribute, we can easily create a ramp between vertex attribute and erase material, place it directly here. By default we got black and white result, let me actually save this project. So, and we can remap this color just to use ramp node. Actually, I prepared beforehand some nicely looking gradients. For instance, I would like to use this head yellow. Okay. Sorry, my C4D crashed, so we create this ramp. Okay. Let's create from scratch. Create one kind of yellow, maybe one kind of green, and let's run it. Okay. So as you see, we easily create gradient for splines. I like this result. Okay. And just one more thing, let's go to the array standard material and maybe change IOR from 1.5 to 3, just to get more reflections, and maybe change roughness a bit, like that, change a bit weight. So one more thing, as we use the redshift tag, we can, as you see, it's not so elegant, looking shape of these splines. So we can go to the geometry, override with Cotwell-Clark subdivisions, and we got more, I think, more good result. Let me run it again. Okay, take a look. As for me, it looks beautiful. So I think you got the idea how to generate it, how to use native C4D tools, how to use some assets and plugins, in order to make your workflow much smoother. I hope you like it. Leave a comment, and moreover, if you're interested in such as this kind of tutorials about simulation dynamics inside Cinema 4D without third-party plugins, about render with Redshift, make sure if you visit my Patreon, you can check some tutorials on YouTube, like this tutorial, for instance, in order to get the idea about my work process. So I hope you like it, and see you very soon. Bye bye.